Hi everyone, it's Erin here.
And Jackson.
And we're reporting on our week 6 of our travel sabbatical road trip through the United States. And week 6 was from December 24th to the 30th. And we're here in Orlando, Florida. So we want to share with you some highlights from the week and let you know that we have the stats on our kilometers and how much money we spent and all that, how many states we covered, which is only one this week. All that stuff will be in the blog post, which we'll link to in the description of this video. So we'll share with you our highlights.
Did I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so Xmas Eve, we went to a Baptist church, and we're in Orlando, Florida, so a Baptist church is like 2,000 people. It was really big. It was like in the movies. There was like screens. They actually had people. There's a pool in the air, like 150 feet in the air, and they actually baptized people. There was a band.
A full orchestra, actually, like a 40-piece.
And then we did
orchestra.
candle lighting, where it was kind of cool because they dimmed the lights, and then we each, when you have like thousands of people in a room, and then like they're all lighting candles, it kind of lit up cool. So that's what we did on that was Christmas Eve.
We were looking for a carol sing, and that more than delivered on that goal. So then after that, on Christmas Eve, we also started calling our friends and leaving voicemails. So you may have got one of those if you're one of our friends. If we have your number.
If we have your number and you didn't answer your phone, we just sang a song into your answering machine. So
this may solve a lot of issues for people. So when we did that, we connected with one of our friends, Steve from Toronto, and he was like, oh my gosh, you must be calling me because I'm in Florida, which we didn't know, but we found out when we called him. And so he invited us down to Miami to hang out with he and his wife, Nadine.
Mm-hmm.
So we headed down there for a day, actually, just overnight, and spent time with them on the beach and hung out with them in a cafe. And then we got a Groupon and went out to a fancy restaurant as well, just the two of us for date night. Jackson had a full rack of ribs.
Oh my frig, it was awesome. Okay, then we went we went to the UU Society. That's it's kind of like a church. I wouldn't call it much of a church, but it's this thing we've been doing a few times, and it was lay led, and they talked of lay led meaning like not like a preacher or anyone professional. And they talked about the war on Christmas. So in the States there's quite a statement about how there's a war on Christmas. Rather than, being Xmas or a holiday season. But in reality, they were saying how something like 70% of the U.S. are Christian. And so, the vast majority support Christmas, are into Christmas. And only like 1% were Muslim and 1% were Jewish. And
so basically the point is that
there
can't be a war on Christmas if it's the vast majority of people that are still celebrating it as Christians.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting, actually. And then the next day we went to an improv night at this cool little cafe called Natura Cafe in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And the group was called Penguin Knife Fight. Mm-hmm. And at one point they called for volunteers, and Jackson volunteered me. So anyway, I got selected and I went up with them to take part in this little skit. So we'll include pictures of that as well.
Mm-hmm. And then we did an afternoon tea. So we went to it's a high tea at like a, cutesy vegan gift shoppy
craft co-op
cafe. And they bring you a tray on this kind of cascading thing with different handcrafted little decadent candies and scones and stuff. I wore a bow tie and so that was good. It was good food.
And what we did was we used that time to start planning for 2015, our New Year's resolutions and that kind of thing, which we both embrace. Mm-hmm. And so we found this really cool workbook online called Unraveling 2015. And there's this girl named Susanna Conway. She's kind of like a coach and a life development kind of expert, you might say. Really lovely workbook for free. And so we've each been working through our own in terms of reflecting on 2015 or 14 and planning for 2015. And then after that, we went to, Jackson took the evening to just chill out in a cafe, and I went to a different cafe, to the Dandelion Community Cafe, where they had this outdoor poetry slam open mic night. So there were some great artists there doing some spoken word poetry, and some kids who were there on vacation who came to play and sing and sounded amazing, did some great folk songs that they wrote themselves. And and also my guitar lesson. So my guitar instructor, Ben, he's been awesome. And I'll link to him below, but he has taught me a couple songs, and I've only had 3 lessons now, but he's been really exceptional in moving me forward It's okay, you don't need the whole thing. So
Yeah.
we'll just play a little verse. You may recognize this. I'll do the Canadian version. This land is your land. This land is my land. From Buena Vista to Vancouver Island. From the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. Everyone have a great week. Stay tuned for next week. You'll hear about our 7th week of travel.